Good morning, good morning, good morning. So y'all seen the title. We're gonna talk about hey messy bitch. We're gonna talk about Hulk Hogan, JT, and Nicki. Oh yes. Thank you for that. Looking very rested. And I wanna say good morning and shout out to people that's gonna catch the replay. So give me 1 second, you guys. I pull up. We're gonna pull up JT first. So JT, this is JT on waterthetroll.com. JT City Cinderella Tour performance criticized as a high school talent show quality. JT City Girls Tour performance criticized as a high school talent show quality. JT of the City Girls is known for a fiery stage presence and bold lyrics, but her recent performance on the City Cinderella Tour has sparked a different kind of conversation among fans. Rather than the praise for her usual confidence and energy, some are liking her performance to something more akin to a high school talent show. The buzz started after JT took the stage in her hometown where fans had high expectations for what's supposed to be a standout moment of the tour. Instead, many were left underwhelmed, with social media quickly lighting up the comparisons to amateur performances. Critics pointed to everything from the choreography to the overall production quality, which some describe as lackluster and unpolished. Quote, honestly, I was expecting so much more from JT. One disappointed fan tweeted, it felt like I was watching a talent show at my old high school, not a major tour performance. Another fan said, expressed similar sentiments on Instagram, commenting, quote, this was her moment to shine, but the whole thing just fell flat. The energy was off, and the whole production felt cheap. The backlash have come as a surprise to many, especially considering JT's reputation for delivering high energy performance. Known for her raw, unapologetic style, she has been a major force in the rap game, with City Girls gaining a massive following thanks to the hits like Act Up and Twerkulator. But this latest performance seemed to have missed the mark, leaving some to wonder if the City Girls tour is living up, the City Cinderella tour is living up to potential. Critics of the performance also noted that the stage design and lighting appeared to be below the standard expected of a tour of this caliber. Some spectated that the rush choreography and the lack cinematization with her dances contributed to the overall lackluster feel of the show. Despite the criticism, JT diehard fans are quick to defend her, arguing that everyone has off night and that one performance shouldn't overshadow her contributions to the music industry. JT is one of the best out here, one fan commented. People are too quick to judge. Let's see how the rest of the tour goes. JT herself have yet to publicly address the criticism, but the conversation surrounding her performance has certainly caught the attention of both fans and industry insiders alike. As City Cinderella tour continues, all eyes will be on JT to see how she bounced back from the mixed reviews. While some fans may have been left wanting more, it is clear that JT's journey on the City Cinderella tour is far from over. Whether this performance were a mere bleep of the radar or a sign of deeper issues with the tour production remain to be seen. But one thing is certain, JT is a performer who knows how to capture attention even when things don't go exactly as planned. I want to say to JT, like I said privately, JT should have stayed with Young Miami. I am so tired of these groups been in the music industry for about 2 years, want to break up and go solo. No. JT and Young Miami came out as the City Girls. JT was in prison. And Young Miami was out by herself trying to build up the City Girls. Lil Kim did a record with Carisha. And no, actually, Lil Kim invited Young Miami to do a record on her album, and then Lil Kim said, "Shout out to JT, free JT." So Carisha, that's her name, Young Man, aka Young Miami, was out here by herself. The issue with JT is that she was hanging around other artists, Nicki, and she let Nicki get in her head. You the star. You can rap. You can do this by yourself, because Nicki was upset at Carisha. Nicki was upset at Carisha because Carisha had Carisha Please on Revolt. It was doing millions and millions of views. Nobody was talking about Nicki Minaj Queen Radio no more. Everybody forgot about Queen Radio because it got canceled on Apple, canceled on Amazon. Queen Radio was old news. Everybody, Carisha Please, Carisha Please, Carisha Please, Carisha Please, Carisha Please, Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. Because Carisha did an interview with Diddy, it went viral. Carisha did an interview with JT and Saucy Santana, went viral. Carisha did an interview with Kevin Gates, went viral. Carisha won awards. She went viral. Carisha got in an argument with Nicki. Nicki was feeling some type of way because everybody and their mama was comparing Carisha Please as the replacement of Queen Radio. Everybody. All the critics, including myself, I said, it's about Carisha Please. Nobody's checking for Queen Radio. At one point, years ago, I was effing with Queen Radio because it was on Apple Music. It dominated the airwaves. On Apple, it was crystal clear. She had it streaming. She had Tasha on there. She had T.S. Madison on there. She had Kyle from Neighbor on top. I mean, it was breaking records. And she would get up there. It was a very well-produced show. Then one day, the contract wasn't renewed. Then she took Queen Radio to Amazon. They gave her, she was going to be the face because Amazon was like, oh, we want to get into business. We want to do this radio stuff. We want to compete because we see how Apple doing it. So we want to start, Amazon wanted to start their own online radio station. And Nicki was the face, and it was going to build shows around Nicki. That was the plan for Amazon. Unfortunately, Nicki did Queen Radio over there. The sound wasn't sounding. It sounded a mess. They had tech issues, and all of the critics, including myself, said it was better quality on Apple Music. And I said, the Wiley Show on Station Hill, we get good quality. We get better quality than on Amazon. Like, what's going on? And then Nicki, because when you're Nicki Minaj and you come from Apple and you producing Queen Radio, and it was many times it was number one. If it go on Amazon, we expecting the same type of quality. Went on Amazon, quality wasn't there. She was chewing ice. It wasn't produced. She was just ranting. It wasn't like Apple Music where she was in the studio, where she brought Trina, when they talked, and when she had TS. It was like very well produced. She had Caillou. He was giving his comedic commentary about Nicki and about what's going on in pop culture. You can really tell that the producers there was really producing it like a radio show. Amazon, no. It was like she would just go live. It was no direction. And it was one particular episode of Queen Radio that Nicki did that was just like the end. Her husband got into it with Offset. They got into a scuffle, or Nicki Minaj's husband, his crew, got into it with Offset. Nicki Minaj's husband had to get on house arrest because he was violation of his parole. Violation, because, he's around other felons. Nicki felt slighted. She felt embarrassed. So what she tried to do is get all of these unknown rappers from New York. She brought them all into some type of studio she rented out. Now, mind you, she didn't have the production like Apple. It was like she got her iPads and her iPhone. She connected it. It was a mess. It was embarrassing to Nicki. It was embarrassing to her fans. And it was an embarrassment to Amazon because it wasn't well produced. She felt Nicki was embarrassed. So she was like, I'm bringing all these rappers off the street. And she said it like, I'm helping independent artists. No, she just brought all these unknown because when they was in the studio, because she went live, she didn't know who they was. They were nervous. And she just brought them on as a scare tactic, like to Cardi, look who I got. We ain't playing. It was embarrassing. So then Amazon announced, we're done with this. It ain't making no money. We shutting the entire radio program down. We shutting it completely down. Amazon, we shutting it down. Amazon announced they shutting it down. So I go on my YouTube and I said, Nicki failed Amazon. Nicki is the reason why Amazon radio things failed. Everybody and their mama, oh, Wiley, you don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. All the shows was canceled. Correct. Because Nicki was the face. Nicki was the one that was supposed to bring in millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of her barbs. And they were supposed to build up and then everybody gets shows because Nicki was going to bring all of these millions. Unfortunately, when I was looking at the data, there was no millions. Amazon, the people over there, they were shocked because they thought that Nicki was going to bring millions of her barbs. Not millions. It was thousands. At best, maybe 1,000 per day. And there's no way Amazon, Jeff Bezos was going to give multi-million-dollar contracts, 1,000 listeners. That's not no money. And they got canceled. Nick Cannon had a show on there. Jason Lee had a show on there. None of them can bring the ratings. Jason Lee, maybe about 500 listeners. Nick Cannon, maybe about 400 listeners. They couldn't bring their millions. They couldn't bring their millions. And the reason why Nicki, Nick Cannon, and Jason Lee show failed is because they treated it like they going on Instagram. It wasn't produced. They didn't care. They didn't do no press. They didn't do no tour. They didn't come on the Wiley Show. They thought they was better than Wiley. Nick refused to come on. Jason refused to come on. So if you refuse to come on YouTube or shows, how do we know to go on your app? They call it Amp Radio, Amazon Amp Radio, and people was texting me. So I didn't even know the radio show. I didn't even know Amazon existed. I didn't even know Amazon existed. I didn't even know they had a radio show. I didn't even know Nicki was on Amazon. They didn't even know until after it was canceled. Same thing with Jason Lee. No one knew. People over there at Bingo knew he was on Bingo Live because he announced, hey, I'm doing Amazon, but they don't need to see you on Amazon. They see you on Bingo for free. So there's no need to download another app. That's why it failed. And then when Jason went on there, he would talk about the same stuff he talked about on Bingo. I was like, how's that different? How's it going to make people go over there? And so I went on Amazon. I'm listening to shows. One major problem, tech issues you couldn't hear. It was glitching. And people in the comments said, we can't hear. And Nicki was like, oh, we having we having tech issues. If you keep having tech issues, nobody's going to listen. They're going to go somewhere else. Over there, to Apple credit, Apple did a great job. Apple had a very well-produced show. Apple was the best. The quality was good. She had cameras. It was like a Breakfast Club, but on Apple. It was the Breakfast Club. It was the Breakfast Club version, Queen Radio on Apple Music. And Nicki, in order for that Amazon to really work, she had to have producers. And I don't think she had, in my humble opinion, she didn't have no producers. Because there was no segments. She didn't have Kaya from Neighborhood Talk. She didn't have nothing that she brought from her Queen Radio because she had segments. She had conversations about she did artist spotlight. She brought Trina on. She brought some legends on, and she showed them love. She even helped. She brought T.S. Madison on and shared a story how she wanted to invest in in the Queen's Supreme Court. She did all. It was iconic. She brought Tasha K on, and Tasha K came on, and they talked about Wendy Williams. It was very. You can really tell that Nicki Minaj did something great. It was iconic. But no. So when it goes to Carisha was on Revolt. And it was a step further than Queen Radio. Carisha on her show on television. On Revolt. How do I know that? Because at the time I had cable and I was watching Carisha on Revolt TV. She was on cable. Then they put it on YouTube. Then they put it on the podcast. They had all these entities for Carisha. It was full. And what did they do to make it be successful? You cannot have a podcast on Revolt and you don't put Diddy on there. He's the owner. At the time, he was the owner. This is before all the allegations, before all that stuff. He the owner. He the face of Revolt. So what did they do? Very smart. They brought Diddy. And Carisha, and then from that one particular interview, they built Carisha Please around that Diddy interview and Carisha. So Carisha, not because she just had Diddy, Carisha, she had talent. She wasn't trying to be like Nicki. She wasn't trying to be like Wendy Williams. When you heard Carisha, you knew it was Carisha. You knew that was Young Miami. She talked the Florida accent. You can really tell she was herself. She was original. And the show was just different. Whatever questions she had, her laugh, her physique, the guests, it was different. So, and then she started winning these awards. I knew it was going to be some jealousy. I knew when the whole JT and Young Miami and Saucy Santana sat down, because when they did their episode, I can tell it was tension between JT and Young Miami. I can tell like Saucy Santana is more cool with Carisha than JT. You can tell. Because when JT did the interview, you could really tell she wasn't really into it. Like, she didn't care to be there. She didn't really care about Carisha. She didn't care about Saucy Santana. She was just there. And you could just tell. And then when JT, she started going over there with Nicki, that was the end of it. Because if you go over there with Nicki, because how Nicki operate in female hip-hop, she don't like no other artist but herself. She claims she love all female rappers. That's a lie. She don't love all female rappers. She said that all the time. I love female rappers. I'm helping everybody. That's only if she helped artists that like beneath her. But if somebody got more ratings than her. So JT decided she said, I'm done with City Girls. I want to go out on my own. JT went out on her own. Everybody was expecting her to go on a theater tour, like theaters like the Eric Crown Theater in Chicago, the theater out there in DC. And then they wanted her to do like New York. They wanted her to get like these 700, 800, 9,000, 1,000 seat venues, but she couldn't pack it out. So she did like club venues with DJs and microphones. And so people was criticizing her because JT, because she was attached to Nicki, they was expecting her to like be on Nicki level. That's what the people they would expect. They was like, oh, of course she gonna be on Nicki Minaj level because Nicki said she was the princess of rap. So JT, she was like, oh, I don't need Carisha. I'm the princess of rap. Nicki Crown Me. I'm the Princess of Rap. We got Apple. Did Apple have virtual? I love Apple. Wiley had so she went on out there. JT coming, JT coming, JT coming, and then she had the DJ, and people was like, it's not great. Like the sound wasn't good, and it took to JT credit. She had to do what level she is. Some of this, like the Chicago show, was the best show because Chicago F with JT. It was packed. It was packed all in the balcony. The dude was like leaning over the balcony. They were showing love in Chicago to JT. They F with JT. But unfortunately, that was only in Chicago. She went to other cities, barely. She couldn't do it. She had to do like clubs. That's it. And I love the fact that she trying to do it, but that's a lot of work to be a solo artist. We ran a story about Chloe in the same boat. Because Chloe and Halle was a duo group. And what did Chloe do? She decided, the powers that be over there, Beyonce, go ahead and be solo. You could be the next Beyonce. She got a new album that came out. What happened? Album flopped. Nobody knew it came out. On Instagram, I'm reading all the comments on my Instagram page. 99% of the comments, 95% of we didn't know the album was out. I didn't even know the album was out. I was shocked. I said, I didn't know she had a new album out. I thought she was still on that do it. I thought she was saying, like I do. I really thought that she was still under like that era. I did not know that she had a brand new album. And when I listened to the album, it was a good album. It was a great album. The lyrics, it had some great songs on there, but you can have a good album if people don't buy it. It means nothing in the music industry. It didn't even chart on the Billboard 200. It didn't even chart on the Billboard 200. And they're dragging Chloe. It was a great body of work, but I'm like, why Beyonce didn't do no songs with Chloe? How is it that Beyonce is on there? Why you don't do no songs with Chloe? And then it was somebody commenting that one of Chloe fans, a lot of her fans were saying, Chloe decided not to work with Beyonce because she wanted to do it on her own. She wanted to write her own music. She wanted to produce her own music. Too much standing in the back, music online industry. Blacks are not buying fucking music. They're not. They're not buying music like back in the day. It's a different time now. People are not going to Walmart or to Walgreens or to the music store and buying CDs. They're not doing that anymore. So Chloe, in order to get people to support Chloe, because you're in the streaming era, it's simple. It's so simple. You have to go where people stream. YouTube, X, all they do is streaming. What Chloe does, because the power's over there at Parkland, oh my God, they automatically gonna rush the Beehive automatically gonna support Chloe because Chloe is signed with Beyonce. That's a lie. Chloe is a brand new artist, meaning she got to start from the bottom on her way up. She cannot ride the coattails of Beyonce unless Beyonce come out there and just really just do records, and it would just be Beyonce. She would upstage Chloe. But what Chloe had to do, what she did when she had the group, she went live on Instagram with her sister. She talked to her fans, so we would know that you got to talk to your fans. This is the generation. You got to go live, Instagram, X. They got all the followers. She got hundreds of millions of followers. Just talk to them and say, hey, stream my music. I got an album out. Talk about your album. Once her album flopped, I watched her IG Live. Who's she on the IG Live with? Her sister. Which she should have went on IG, because if you want to be a solo artist, then why are you with your sister? Because you said you were done with your sister. You want to be out on your own. But you need your sister because you and your sister together bring millions of people on your IG Live. On your X, millions of people watch. which I've always said to groups, at least stay in a group for about 10 years, then go solo. Destiny's Child, it was an interview with Destiny's Child. It was a producer. He was talking about Matthew Knowles. And Matthew Knowles, at the time, Beyonce had an album. She had all these tracks, and they couldn't use them all. So this radio personality said, how about you take the best of the stuff that she's scrapping and use that, take Beyonce lead vocals off, and let the girls share the lead vocals and make that a Destiny's Child album. And it sold a lot of records. And then Beyonce went on and did some more solo records. The thing with today is they think just because that Chloe sing good, that it reminds them of Beyonce, automatically let's go solo. No, she got to work for that. It's hard out here in the music industry. It's not easy. I've interviewed a lot of artists. It is not easy being in the music industry. It is not easy. People think that just because you can get in that studio, you release, that's one thing. To get it mixed, mastered, but it's a whole nother thing to get people to buy it. Because they be like, I'm not interested. And it's so much competition today. You got, I believe the data says thousands upon thousands of songs that are released every single day. I believe it's 200 songs, 200,000 songs released per day. So it's hard to be different. See, back in the day, in the old school era, it was an album every 6 months. Like you could kind of like, Diana Ross released an album, Smokey Robinson, The Temptations. Everybody had their time to release album. It wasn't so much, but it's so saturated with so much music that it's hard to get people to just to buy your stuff. Now, Tyrese did something very smart that a lot of folks is annoying because he have an album and it's on his website. You can't even go to iTunes. You got to go directly to his website and buy his album. But he been had a smart strategy when he had Black Rose, and that's my favorite album. I'm getting that again because he had a DVD. I had the DVD, and he had the album. The DVD was the behind the scenes of Black Rose, of all the writers. It had it had him and Tank going over the song, him and Jennifer Hudson going over the song. It was dope. I was like, wow. It was iconic. But when he released it, it was flopping. Tyrese went outside, started going to them Walmarts, and he told his fans, I'm at this Walmart, I'm at that Walmart. And then sometimes people do surprise visits. Because the fans were so shocked to see Tyrese, what did they do? They went and they bought Black Rose. And he was signing a copy, took pictures, and it went up to the chart, went #1 on the Billboard 200s. You got to go outside. You got fans today is because I'm speaking from a YouTube perspective. They're now you got to talk to them one-on-one. It got to be intimate. Back in the day, like Michael Jackson, he had some type of fame. He couldn't do intimate. That was a time it was like millions upon millions. Now the fans want you to be one-on-one. They want you to be intimate. And if you act like you above them, they're gonna reject you. You think you better than your fans, they're gonna remind you by not streaming your music. You have to have a bond and a relationship. That's one thing I love about Usher, Brandy, Monica, Toni Braxton. Who else that I can name? Even Lauryn Hill, is because that fan base, they fell in love with the artist. And even Beyonce, but they worked for that. They took them years. Even if you use Destiny's Child as an example, from all of them, LaToya Luckett, Michelle, Beyonce, Kelly Rowland, the reason why all of them are successful is because they worked for it. Years at it. And LaToya Luckett said because how they worked in the early days that she still get to eat and make money as an artist. The artists in my generation, they just think, go to the studio, put a little logo, get it mixed and mastered, Go back. It's gonna be a no. It's like it's something that you got to pull from the old school, which is meeting your fans. So JT, and I'm not about to shit on her. I'm not about to poop on her because she had a good album. I'm not about to poop on her about her tour. Her tour is good. It's just that she just makes sure that she get a great DJ sound, all that great sound team. You good, and keep doing what you're doing. Because JT believed that, and when she did her Chicago performance, it was iconic. It was I loved it because it was like the crowd was in it and JT was in it. I said it's great, but whoever produced, whoever did the sound, whoever did that for that particular show, she needs to hire them and take them all around the country because they did it right. They did it right, and JT had to don't give up. And JT, and I have to say this: you can't look at the comments, let them get to you, and say, "Oh, you ain't on Nicki level, you ain't on Ice Spice level, or you're not on Megan Thee Stallion level." Don't listen to that, and know that, and just keep doing you. And JT, you will be successful. Just keep going on tour. If JT felt like she was born to be a solo artist, she wanted to do the that's it was her heart. So do it. Because when JT released her album, when she released her album, it was so packed that they had to turn people away. And she said, she said, for people that did not get a personal invitation, please leave because I got more people that I personally invited to be here. And people started leaving and the other folks started coming in. So that let me know that people do want to see JT succeed. So the people is out there. It's just that she got to make sure her audio tech team, mic team is on point. She got to make sure they is on point because it's the sound. Because you can have a packed house, but if the sound ain't it's sound bad, the people is gonna not receive it. But so shout out to JT. I'm not gonna call it a high school tour and all that type of stuff because if it is and you got people in high school effort with you, they the generation that you have. So you just build up that. They said because many people are calling it a high school talent show. Wow, high school talent show quality. So that means you just need to work on the quality. All right, so we're gonna move on from that, and we're gonna get into. Give me one second. Good morning to you guys. They want you to feel relatable to them. Absolutely. Too much standing in the back. Music online industry. Blacks are not buying music anymore. Yes. But you have to see why and ask the question why. That's the question. Also, I gotta get into Nicki Minaj. I'm gonna get into Nicki Minaj. Actually, let me get into Hulk Hogan first, and then I'm gonna close out with Nicki Minaj. So it's a video. The blogs are talking about Hulk Hogan, and we covered this on waterthetroll.com, you guys, when it first happened. But obviously, it's going viral again about Hulk Hogan. He is a wrestling legend. So in there, when I put on waterthetroll.com, I said Hulk Hogan jokes about body slamming Kamala Harris. Is the Hulkster out of line or just playing around? I posed that question. So I'm going to read the wildershow.com. I'm going to read that article, and then I'm going to give my commentary on it. Good morning. Good morning to y'all that's watching this. Give me a second. And make sure y'all go to wildershow.com. Make sure y'all go there, and y'all read the article. Okay. So, all right, now let's get into the latest mess. Hulk Hogan, yes, the wrestling legend himself thought it was cute to make a joke about body slamming other than the vice president, Kamala Harris. Honey, what in the world was he thinking? So here's a T. During a recent appearance, Hulk decided to flex some old muscles of his thought out a little humor, giving our VP the classic Hulkster treatment in the ring. Now, you know, as well as I do, some things just aren't funny, and body slamming the vice president of the United States, that's a no, even if you Hulk freaking Hogan. Now, don't get me wrong, Hulk Hogan is known for his over-the-top personality and outlandish comments, but darling, we're talking about Kamala Harris here, the first Black and South Asian woman to hold the office of vice president. And he's out there joking like it's just another day in WWE. Please, the audacity is real, and folks are not taking it lightly. Social media went wild with people calling him out for being disrespectful, tone deaf, and just plain out of touch. Some are saying it's just another example of how powerful women, especially women of color, are disrespected in this country. Others are brushing it off as just a bad joke, no harm, no foul. But you know, and I both know, when you're in the public eye like Hulk, you got to be careful about what you say, especially in today's climate. So what's next for Holster? We apologized, we doubled down and said it was all good fun. Only time will tell, but one thing for sure, Kamala Harris isn't one to be messed with. Hulk Hogan might just have learned the hard way. Stay tuned because you know the story isn't over yet. I'm going to say this about Hulk Hogan. First of all, you got to know who is Hulk Hogan. So I'm going to remind my audience who Hulk Hogan is. He's a retired wrestler, iconic. When Hulk Hogan said what he said, Hulk Hogan is an entertainer. And a wrestler, they do storylines. They say stuff on the mic to get people to watch. They don't mean nothing to what they say. It's all entertainment. It's all to get people talking. So when he joked, "Do you want me to buy this Kamala Harris?" But he's talking to a wrestling crowd, a wrestling crowd, and like he's doing a promo, right, on the mic. It's a joke. It's not he want to do that. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know in today's climate, they're thinking like Hulk Hogan is just an old man. No, Hulk Hogan is a WWE. He's above WWE. He's a wrestling legend. Like, you cannot talk about wrestling without mentioning Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is the reason why we have John Cena, The Rock, Roman Reigns. Without Hulk Hogan, there is no Roman Reigns. Hulk Hogan and him and WWE, Vince McMahon, if it wasn't for the success of WrestleMania 1, there would not be a WWE. Because WrestleMania 1, Vince McMahon put all his money into WrestleMania 1. All of it. He took out loans, second mortgages, him and Linda McMahon for WrestleMania 1. He had a vision like, oh, I want this to be celebrities and wrestlers and let this be like the Super Bowl of wrestling. We put it all on WrestleMania. If it would have flopped, there would not have been a WWE. He would have been bankrupt because he put all his money into and he had Hulk Hogan as the face. He had Muhammad Ali, had all these celebrities at the time. Mr. T, he had a lot of people that was on WrestleMania 1. And Hulk Hogan was the face. Hulk Hogan now, being a person that he is now being he went to the RNC. And everybody loved Hulk Hogan. And when he stepped on the RNC, he showed love to Trump. He ripped his shirt. He showed love to Trump. It was iconic, went viral. Woo, we all celebrated. I was watching it on television. I felt good. Hulk Hogan gave a great speech. It was the Hulkster type of speech. It was iconic, and it was legendary. And it will go down in history as it's like he's just iconic. He's just iconic force. So he leaves the RNC. He done. He does that. You got a lot of people that don't F with Hulk Hogan because of his political views. Not because he is a bad wrestler, not because he didn't win the WWE title, not because he left WWE, joined WCW, and not because of that. It's because of his political views, because his affiliation, all that. But everybody that was commenting on the internet all knew Hulk Hogan is a wrestler. It's not all that serious. It's not that serious. Hulk Hogan is a wrestler. Hulk Hogan he talks on a mic. Hulk Hogan does a lot to get attention. Same thing with Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's like if you're not in the wrestling community, you will not know. For me, being in the wrestling community, I understand Hulk Hogan. I think Hulk Hogan is an incredible person, incredible actor, incredible entertainer, incredible person. Because I will never forget it. Hulk Hogan and The Rock was in a wrestling match, and it was The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. It was on WrestleMania. It's very iconic. I will never forget it when Hulk Hogan and Brock Lesnar was going back and forth. Iconic. Hulk Hogan put a lot of wrestlers to make them household names. Even we go back to like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, just iconic. Just iconic, just really really iconic, just iconic matches that Hulk did in this industry. Just put a lot of wrestlers on. Even when he went to WCW, and Eric Bischoff wanted Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan was like, no, not gonna do it. And then Hulk was like, well, how about I be the bad guy? You turn. I think Eric Bischoff said, how about you turn heel? And Hulk was like, no, if I turn. And heel is like the bad character in wrestling, and he did that. And they had NWO, and it just went everywhere. In the 90s, it almost put WWE out of business. So Hulk Hogan have always been legendary. Hulk Hogan actually had time in TNA. He spent time in there, and helped that wrestling brand at the time, because I will never forget it when he first did it. It was iconic. So just seeing Hulk Hogan as an entity, he's just a dope wrestler. I just love him because I remember coming up, watching him and when he was in his prime, just doing iconic promo runs, iconic just wrestling. Like, he's just an iconic force. So we love Hulk Hogan, and I just wish, like, just when you on the mic, just be careful what you say, because people, they just take what you say. We're gonna move on from Hulk Hogan. So we're gonna talk about Nicki Minaj. Now, this whole Nicki Minaj piece, we got to get into Nicki. And I don't know what's going on with all these lawsuits, but lawsuits are coming like crazy. Everybody is like the lawsuits in the air in the industry. So on WileyTheTroll.com, I put a headline: Nicki Minaj alleged mistreatment of devoted fans lead to explosive lawsuit. Nicki Minaj is facing serious allegations from one of her dedicated fans, who claimed that she publicly humiliated him by labeling him as a mentally unstable stalker. The fan, Tammy Peak, Peaka, hope I'm saying it right, Peak, has taken legal actions against the rap icon following a lawsuit in LA Superior Court that paints a troubling picture of their interactions. According to the lawsuit, Tamir described himself as a loyal supporter of Nicki for over 15 years, even crediting himself with helping to promote her 2023 album, Pink Friday 2. However, their relationship reportedly took a turn for the worse in 2017, during what he refers to as Nicki Hate Train phase. Tamir claims that during the time, Nicki accused him and other fans of being paid informants sent to sabotage her career. The lawsuit alleged Nicki publicly humiliated Tamir on several occasions, including one incident where she invited him to a hotel only to film and embarrass him in front of 100 Instagram Live viewers. He also claimed that during the Super Bowl weekend event in 2020, Nicki's husband, Kenneth Petty, physically assaulted him, an incident that Nicki later acknowledged in a direct message in 2024. That Tamir alleged that Nicki continued to target him with messages urging him to stop saying dumb stuff, which he said damaged his reputation among her fan base. He also claimed that during multiple live sessions on Stationhead, Nicki made derogatory comments about his mental stability and financial situation, insinuating that he was on welfare and lacked intellectual capability. The most damning accusation in the lawsuit is that Nicki labeled Tamir a stalker who impersonated her team members. Tamir is now seeking $5 million in damages for the emotional distress, reputational harm, and financial losses he claims to have suffered as a result of Nicki's actions. Nicki Minaj representative have yet to comment on these serious allegations. The Barb's Nicki loyal fan base are undoubtedly watching closer to the drama unfolds. First, and then, again, I love Nicki. I think Nicki is the queen. She have iconic music, but Nicki, on stage head, you have to just be careful what you say, because these people, when you on stage head, you got to be careful what you say about fans. You can't be saying, oh, he got a mental illness, oh, he got bipolar, oh, he's a psycho, oh, he's weird, because that fan, first of all, he ain't got to call the lawyer. The lawyer's gonna be listening. They're gonna reach out to that fan. Hey, you potentially can get millions because she slandered your name. And I'm such and such law firm from such and such, such and such, such and such. And they're gonna file a lawsuit. Whether he win or not, lawyers, their sole job, if you work in the civil, to make money. That's what they gonna do. They gonna call that fan. Hey, player, we heard you. We heard you, and we feel so sorry what Nicki said about you. Our heart aches, and we think you can possibly get damages, reward damages for what Nicki said. And then that fan files the lawsuit. It goes on waterthetroll.com, goes on all the blogs, and Nicki got to go fight the lawsuit. Whether he win or not win, the purpose is just filing the lawsuit makes Nicki look like she's the bad guy. But in reality, she didn't really say nothing that bad. But the lawyers, they could be like, they can spin it like, oh, she did say something bad. It destroyed your mental, saying you bipolar. That's the Barb's harassing you and all that type of stuff. And he gonna be like, oh yeah, they harassed me, they all in my DMs, blah, 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 blah. He goes around the judge, and then Nicki, they have to fight a lawsuit. But that's because on Station Head, Nicki thinks Station Head is that she talking to her homegirls. And she have like, on a good day, like 3,000 listeners. Because sometimes I go and listen. And she say stuff. And you got to be careful what you say on Station Head. Because that fan took what she said and got a lawyer and filed a lawsuit. And now she got to respond, get a lawyer to fight it. And of course, Nicki got money. She got lawyers. So it's not like she got to go get a lawyer pro bono. She got lawyers. Look what she did to Nosy Ho. She destroyed her in the courtroom, just like that. And in the settlement, Nosy can't even respond to Nicki. If she do, she got to pay $50,000 per offense. So if Nosy go out and say those same lies about Nicki, $50,000 per offense. So that was in the settlement. Shout out to Megan, the reporter, because she posts all the documents. So when you go, Nicki, just let this be a teachable moment. Just stick to just the music and your life. Don't talk about the fans because they're gonna get lawyers, just like that. And I love Nicki, her music. Do I love her on stage as hope? No. I prefer music. I listen to her music, be done with. I can't even. The reason why I don't go listen to her station like that is because she ain't talking about nothing. Now, she go on there, she come back, and she bring people on there like what she did on Apple Music, Kyle, and all that. And she have segments, and it's like produced. Oh, okay, I'll go back. Because even the blogs don't even post her station head stuff no more. They don't post it. Because she's not talking about nothing. Now, recently, I put an article on waterthetroll.com that's about Ice Spice, and there's some problems going on with Ice Spice and JT and Nicki. But on my YouTube channel and on the YouTube channel, we have already showed you guys, and I'm gonna remind you about what allegedly Ice Spice's friend said, that because she posted a text thread, Ice Spice's friend, and posted the receipts on Twitter and said, and it had like Ice Spice saying that Nicki want her to sign at 360. Nicki is bitter. And in Ice Spice, in one of the text messages, Ice Spice told Nicki, this is allegedly, Ice Spice told Nicki, because Nicki said, well, when Lil Wayne, I listen to Lil Wayne, I sign over everything to Lil Wayne. I respect Lil Wayne. And Ice Spice said, respectfully, this is a different time. I own my masters. I'm not signing over my stuff to you. And then Ice Spice, so then Ice Spice told, if that was really, Ice Spice told her friend allegedly in the text thread, she's bitter just like my mom. She's a bitter old woman. She needs to sit down. Then Ice Spice, then Ice Spice, then Ice Spice was dropping tea that I don't know if to believe it or not, because I'll have to send an email to like the producers of the Barbie movie Then Ice Spice, allegedly, if this is true, they didn't even want her on the Barbie movie. Because she said the producers reached out to me, and to keep my loyalty with Nicki, I presented, Ice Spice said, I presented Nicki name because Nicki does the Barbie persona. And then the Barbie was like, no, that's not true. And I said, there's a lot going on over there. But if you go back to Nicki, Ice Spice is supposed to be the princess of rap. Because they did a record together. So I'm not I'm not shocked. When I did Wiley Show, I'm not surprised that Ice Spice got unfollowed by Nicki. That doesn't surprise me. When I woke up to the news and they said Nicki unfollowed Ice Spice, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised. Ice Spice make great music. She's a great artist. But a lot of the new artists, they finding out, like, you know, because Nicki, when you do records with Nicki, of course you're gonna sell. You're gonna go number one. Because Nicki got a lot of clout. And Nicki get on your record, you're going to number one. That's why Erica Banks wants to do a song with Nicki. Not because she go number one. If Nicki is on your song, if I'm a rapper and I got Nicki as the feature artist, number one, I'm gonna go number one. Because of Nicki. That's how much clout she had. And for her to be in the industry for over 20-some years, to still breaking records and having number one singles, number one albums, that's legendary. Because again, if you understand, you guys, the time of artists, they don't have that 10, 20, 30, 40 year aspect, especially as a hip hop artist. At best, maybe now 4 years, maybe 2. But to have almost 20 years in the game and still perform at a high level and deliver at a high level, that's iconic. Nicki is still profitable at a very high level when it comes to streaming numbers. The data is out there. When Spotify released their list of top 10 female hip hop artists, Nicki is on that list. And there is no artist that came out with Nicki as female is on that list. She's the only one from her era still competing at a high level. Even when you compare her to the men, she is still in the top 50 with streaming. So Nicki does deliver. But I think it's a character flaw because they said stop in to say, hey, I love you, Wiley. Hey, Leo, I love you too. I mean, I'm sure the budget is only but big. Wiley, there's probably what she can do. Yeah, thank you, Leo. Love you. So Nicki, as a character flaw, I think as a character flaw, that Nicki had this outdated mindset that sign off everything. give me your rights. And I want to have your rights. I want to have your masters. That's the idea. I outdated. But these artists are smarting up now. They're getting their own masters. They're independent artists now. So they're getting smarter because of they learn from Nicki. They learn from the legends. Tony, they learn from Nicki. They learn from Lil Kim. All these artists that's crying broke, they all learn that I don't want to be broke. I want to own my masters. I don't want to be broke. I want to have ownership. What's the artist from Chicago? Chance the Rapper. I remember when he came out, everybody said he needs to sit down. He ain't gonna win. He independent won and he was winning. Chance the Rapper in Chicago, he would host a talent show at the Harold Washington Library in the auditorium. He would host talent shows. And he released album. He released his album and it went number one. He was independent. So right then and there, because of technology, you don't necessarily need record labels per se, like you did in the 90s. The record companies are great because they still have marketing. They can do a lot of the massive legwork. And they have a network of A&R rep, producers, everything. But you're paying for it. They're not gonna do it for free. But it's either you want that and have to pay, or you do it all on yourself. Every artist, whether it was Monique, when she released her independent album, she said, "Y'all bad because I spent the money. I bought all these records. Paid for the videos. Y'all bad at records. I spent it all." And they always they had asked Monique. They said, "How is it?" She said, "It's stressful because you got to pay for everything. She says, very, very stressful." And she says it's another beast when you're an independent artist, when you see all that money being deducted out your account. Monica said that. And her independent album was legendary. It was good. The same thing, shout out to Ashanti. Congratulations to Ashanti. We released a story on WileyShow.com. Her and Nelly welcome my baby boy. Ashanti released an independent album. Great album. And it was an awesome album. So shout out to her. So shout out to the people that are releasing independent art, but it's a lot of work when you want to be independent. Some folks will be better being on the thing. Frank Ocean's another great example of an artist who owns his masters. Frank Ocean's owns his masters. It's only a handful of artists own their masters. Only a handful. So it's a lot of work. And then artists, I give artists the side eye. Well, my cock eye, I give them the side eye. Because they get and they complain, "I don't have my masters." But you sign over to not get your masters. "Oh, but that's unfair. Give me a new contract." They're not going to give you a new contract. So you get what you sign. If you sign a contract to give the record company to have your masters for, let's say, for 30, 40 years, they're going to have it for 30, 40 years. If you want your masters, don't sign it over to the record label. It's simple. Don't sign it to them. Don't give them their masters. If it's your body of work and you're signing and you, because it's all in the contract. This is contract law. You get what you negotiate. You get what you negotiate. If I am on a record label, I'm gonna go to Columbia Records and I'm about to release a gospel album. And in the period, we own your master for X amount of years. And I signed it. I can't come out here and the album just sell great. But you want your man, and then you cry, "Ugh, they robbed me." But you ain't telling people you signed the contract. When you have a contract, it's literally contract law. So you gotta get a lawyer to look at your contract. If you don't know how to read it, you look at your contract, just go over the terms and the conditions. And I don't think you should get, as an artist, a lot of artists that messed them up in the 90s, they would say, I'm just taking their words, that they would use the same lawyer that the record company used. And some artists verbatim said this: "I didn't read it. I was just excited to be signed." So if they come on my show, I'm like, "Oh, you signed it? Why? But you do know it caused you financial harm, correct? And you signed it." So they say a true conflict of interest. When you have an artist and you have a lawyer and the two entities, you get your own lawyer. You bring your own lawyer to the table so he or she can have your best interest at heart. You can't. I got that common sense. Why would I get the same lawyer as the record? No, get your own lawyer so they can look at the term and condition and read the contract yourself. And ask questions. Hey, what does this mean? Hey. Because the music industry, those executives, they're in the business of making money. Michael Jackson was he was the exemption because Michael Jackson was bold. He owned everything. He bought people's stuff. He was just a great businessman. You have to have that business sense. So I love every artist that I support. I love them all. And I do feel bad for artists that, especially the older artists that not making no money. I do feel bad. My heart goes out to them that they sign over everything. My heart ache for all of them because people buy your stuff and then you don't make nothing. My heart ache for that because I think you should make some money for your body of work because it's your body of work. But on the same token, on the flip token of that, you can't sign over your rights to your body of work. So when it comes to, give me a second here. When it comes to Nicki always, always. And when I saw her in the barbershop, I said, Nicki can act. She was dope in the barbershop. I said, Nicki can act. And she's an amazing radio personality. If she just go back to Queen Radio and all that, amazing. Because she dope. If you give her like mics and stuff like she can really put on a great show. She's an iconic force. And I want to give Nicki her credit because Nicki did something special for the LGBT community because she really loved she did something for TS. She had boosted up TS Madison in a sense. Like she had brought TS Madison. She had brought TS Madison up on her platform. Like that was I think that was iconic. That was iconic. So we love Nicki. Shout out to Nicki Minaj. May God bless her and what she doing. Now, I also want to say, give me a second here. I gotta talk about Joe Budden here because I'm just going down the timeline of WileyTheTroll.com because I didn't get the chance to talk about a lot of this stuff. So Joe Budden reads Young Miami down. And Joe Budden, once again, I love Joe Budden. I think like Joe Budden is one of the ones that he's a shock jock and he's dope. But Joe Budden always get into it with the female rappers. From Cardi to Young Miami, he's like one of the best to get it in with female rappers. And he don't just get in with female rappers, he also get it in with the male rappers too. But the female rappers is like it gets more buzz because they really go back and forth in the media. They said in the latest podcast episode, Joe Budden held nothing back as he delivered a scathing critique of the City Girl star Young Miami, known for his unfiltered opinions. Joe Budden took aim at Young Miami in a segment and quickly went viral, leaving his fans and critics buzzing about his harsh words. The exchange started when Joe Budden, who was often been vocal about his thoughts on the current state of hip hop, brought up Young Miami's secret comments and action in the music scenes. When mincing words, Joe Budden questioned her relevancy and authenticity, suggesting that her success might be more about hype than talent. Quote, you can't just ride the wave and think nobody's going to call you out, Joe Budden said, but launching into a full-blown takedown, Young Miami, you got the personality, but where's the artistry? Where's the growth? I'm tired of seeing these half-baked performances and the same old recycled content. I want to say this to Joe Budden. Joe Budden is, don't get offended. He says stuff to get y'all listen to his podcast. I disagree with what he said about Young Miami because Young Miami have great talent. I'm telling the City Girls act up, great, iconic song. They make great, iconic music. Is that, and Carisha, shout out to y'all, man, and she's an awesome media personality. I give her credit. And so is Joe Budden. Joe Budden is great at what he does. He does a podcast in the hip hop. That's what they do. They get on the mic, they criticize. Hey man, young man, she washed up, and it's just the talent. Joe Budden is loud, and that's what he does, and that's classic Joe Budden. He go loud, and his co-hosts they let him do it because it's the Joe Budden show, and he says something about a rapper whoever at the time, and they go at it. He even got Castanet. He was going back and forth with Castanet. Said Castanet should shut up. He's young, he's stupid. And Castanet came out and said, Joe Budden, you pretty much you bitter, you jealous. So it's always some tension that goes on in the podcast space. But I love the fact that Young Miami defends herself. I love the fact that Young Miami stands up. I love the fact that Cardi B stands up to Joe Budden. I love the fact because if you want to sit there in the podcast space and you want to throw out at them, they do have a right to respond. Cardi don't let shit slide. Neither does Young Miami. That I could think. Even when Nicki went on Joe Budden, Nicki didn't let it slide. And actually, Joe Budden had to apologize to Nicki because a lot of stuff he said about Nicki Minaj, he had to apologize because he put out some stuff about her. Not known, it wasn't very nice what he said about Nicki Minaj. I'm not gonna go on what he said because they made up, and Nicki went on his show. So shout out to Joe Budden because Joe Budden definitely gives out some great interviews. Because Nicki Minaj, when she was on Joe Budden, to her credit, and about to look him and Nicki, I gotta speak about that beef. When Nicki said it was great, and the blogs did talk about it, so credit to the hip hop media outlets. Nicki said that Look Him should be on the cover of iconic like fashion magazines because of what Look Him did culturally in fashion. And she said I should be on there too because of what I said. Shout out to Nicki for saying that because Nicki didn't have to say that. And so right then and there, that showed me that Nicki do honor and have some type of she have respect for Look Him. And I love that Joe Budden asked the question and they was doing a sit-down interview and Nicki shared that about Look Him. And it was iconic that she shared that. And that's what I knew. I was like, okay, eventually I could see Nicki and Look Him doing something because both women, when they do their interviews, they're starting to show respect to each other by saying each other's name, and it's so insulting. The same thing when Look Him, years ago when she released her album 9, and they asked her, "Oh, let's talk about Nicki Minaj. Let's talk about Nicki Minaj." And then they was like, and then Look Him was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's talk about these bars. Let's talk about this great music. We're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into Nicki. We're not gonna get into that. She know what she did. Let's talk about these bars. Let's talk about this. Shout out to her." And then Look Him. It was they supposed to do a battle. They supposed to do, you know how back in the day during the pandemic they had like rappers, they so that and Nicki, they said, who do you want to go, they asked Look Him, who do you want to go back on the battle? And Look Him said Nicki Minaj. So finally, right then and there, everybody, the media was like, oh, finally, Look Him called Nicki by her name instead of oh girl. So that'll let me know right then and there them two women can work together. And I won't be shocked if they talk and just say to squash it. I'm glad that those women came together. And as a man, I don't think it is okay to pin, and women have all said it. Why is it that y'all pin us against each other? Why is it that y'all say it's just got to be one? It's multiple women. I'm so glad there's a lot of women now. I'm glad we got options. And they all have their own identity. They all are original. Each one of them. Ice Spice don't sound like Young Miami. Young Miami don't sound like JT. JT don't sound like Megan Thee Stallion. They all have their identity. They all are original. They all have their original sound. So I thank God for that. Shout out to Luther Vandross because he said in his interview years ago, may he rest in peace, he said, you got to be original. Everybody, you can't sound, Rita don't sound like Diana don't sound like Rita, I don't sound like Sam Cooke. Everybody have so shout out to the female, and that's why so many of them now, and they're all doing great because they all have their own sound. Good morning, Renee. Good morning. Good morning. All have their own sound. When I listen to Ice Spice, I don't hear Nicki. When I hear Nicki, I don't hear Ice Spice. When I hear Megan Thee Stallion, when I hear Cardi don't sound like Nicki. These female rappers that's here today, and Carisha and JT, they all have their own sound. And congratulations to all the women. They all doing it. Because I'm glad that it's more than 10 now that are all doing great. They're all making their money. And that should be commended. That should be commended. And shout out to Look Him for kicking that door. And shout out to the Queen Latifahs and all of the ones that kicked the door down for Lil Kim. So shout out to Nicki for kicking that door down for all the other women that's here today. So they all of them will go down as being a part of it. And actually, all of them definitely make great music. They're coming out with great albums. I mean, the women are just dominating the industry right now. I would argue they're probably dominating more than some of the male rappers right now. Because the women, it's a lot of them, and they're making great, iconic songs. And it's just dope. So shout out to all of the black, all of, not just black, all of the women, period, that's doing it. Shout out to old girl that's shout out to sis there, and I love her for wilding out. Shout out to her. And she white, and she go toe to toe with Nick Cannon. She go toe to toe with all of them, and she be winning. Shout out to, I cannot wait till she drop an album. I cannot wait till she drop an album, and either this year or next year. I cannot wait because she is talented. Like on Wildin' Out, she's one of my favorite artists on Wildin' Out. But I put her above. Who was that? The other guy, the one that I put her above Nick Cannon, to be honest, because she makes the show. She does make the show. Who is that other rapper that's on there? Give me a second. Give me a second. I gotta see who was that. Well, he's not a rapper. He's a comedian. DC on Fly. DC, oh, she above DC on Fly and her, they go neck and neck. Sometimes DC on Fly, then and my girl there, she goes like, it goes up and down like, and shout out to her because it's not easy being a woman, especially a white woman, and you competing with black guys, and to do it at a high level and to be entertaining in the community, the black community, they celebrate. Like anytime she get on the mic, she go at it. She be at it. So shout out to that, and that's the reason why I think Wildin' Out lasted so long is because they allow people to be great. Do you like Scarlett? I love Scarlett. I think she's dope. I think it's so is it Rhapsody? Rhapsody, I believe. Dope. Like Dream Doll, dope. Even Erica Banks, great. And Erica Banks, her album was a great album. So it's a lot of female rappers that are out here that are doing good things. So shout out to them all. And my music library, I'm a fan of music. I love albums. It's just, good music is good music. Good music is good music. Good music. Like Ice Spice have an album. I listen to her album. A Doja Cat album. And Doja Cat, shout out to Doja Cat. She make incredible videos. Her visuals, they be hitting. Like she did one video, she was in all black. And she was she remind me of Lauryn Hill. It's like just her swag, her lyrical content, her I believe like she really put thought into her visuals. Because it literally tells a story when Doja Cat does her videos. And I listen to her album, dope. So shout out to them all. I just love to talk about the female rappers and the male rappers. You know, I love Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg. Shout out to Snoop Dogg because I F with him because him as a 90s artist to still be relevant, to be at the Olympics, and to be with Martha Stewart, and he went in a gospel industry and put gospel artists that he loved. Is it Rance Allen, Mr. Allen? He put him on like the Clark sisters. He did a song with them, and it was great. Snoop Dogg gospel album was iconic. It was just I said, thank you, Snoop, because I was worried. I'm like, Snoop Dogg doing gospel? I don't think this is gonna work. Until I heard that album, I said, Thumbs up. Whoever told you to do a gospel album, do another. Kanye, another great. He's he's from my city, Chicago, so great. You ain't too many artists touching Kanye when it comes to the bars. Ain't too many. Kanye, from him being a producer to come from being a producer to being a rapper, he's like he's a genius. His music, man, it will Jesus walk with me. She give me money when I'm in need. Hell, she tries to is it on it? Right on top. Yeah, like you would never top Kanye West is an innovator. He know how to make great songs, great albums. So just shout out to him. Shout out to Jay-Z, another great hip hop artist. Who was it I really Tupac, great and Tupac was before I was a baby when Tupac was out. And I still listen to his albums. Just because great music is great music. Shout out to him. Who else did I love? Chance the Rap, of course. I can't wait till he release another album. The Yin Yang Twins, great album. Yeah, he said he's a genius. Yeah. Oh, you talking about Kanye? Yeah, Kanye is a genius. Kanye, he did a gospel. He did a gospel album, and it's like the song. I'm gonna do a little piece of it. 24 hours, 24 hours, hours. And like Kanye, you got to give it to him. When he did his Sunday service, it was iconic. The gospel art, the gospel community, the gospel art they didn't like it, and I get why they didn't like it. Because it throw them off the charts. I get it. Because Kanye, that Sunday service, he had folks outside giving praises to God, bringing people to Jesus. He was at Joel Osteen Church. I mean, it was iconic. You can't top what Kanye did for the for the gospel industry. He brought a lot of people into gospel that wasn't into gospel music. A lot of Kanye fans now are subscribed to my girl. Um, hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Like to Tasha Cobbs. Shout out to Tasha Cobbs. He brought a lot of people into there. So hey, and I love Tasha Cobbs. I love Shirley Caesar, Chicago Mass Choir, the Mississippi Mass Choir, the Florida Choir, the Georgia Mass Choir. Like great music. I mean, I'm talking about good artists, and I love the new stuff. Jara, you wanna know? I love the new art because some people like I just love the old school. I love the old school gospel, traditional gospel, and also I love the new praise and worship stuff. I love it all because I feel like you may have a feeling of doing old school tradition, and you may put on a new record, and you might like that, or you may go to the Yolanda Adams. It's whatever your vibe is. It's whatever your vibe is, and that's the beauty of music. And I will never forget it. Music is universal. And I love music because music is one of the entities that you can go across the world and people gravitate to you. But old school is always better. Oh, always old school gospel, old school R&B, old school rock, old school country. But even the new country music. To be a man, I love that country record. Um, um, just dope. But old school always trump because you gotta understand, old school music. They had musicians. They had you gotta understand old school. The reason why old school is still thriving today is because they would be on the street corners. Boom, 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 boom. I got sunshine ooh, on a cloudy day. Boom, 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 boom. When it's cold outside, boom, boom. I got the month of May, boom, 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 boom. Where I guess you say boom, boom, boom. What can make me feel this way? My girl, my girl, my girl. Talking about my girl, my girl. That song came out in the 60s. My mother wasn't even born in the 60s. So, good music is good music. Do, 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 do. You know, it's just like, do, 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 like, you would never trump them type of beats. Real musicians. That Papa was also, the intro itself, these new artists ain't trumping that. Bruno Mars. Out of all the artists, Bruno Mars is the one that brought old school vibes into and make it into the. He the only one. That's it, the clock, and I've been on it. He even helped Cardi B. They were supposed to go on tour, but she got pregnant. Bruno Mars did a song. He brought a gentleman out there. Like, Bruno Mars is a dope artist. Do y'all know Bruno Mars, the iconic sounds this man brought? 21K Magic in the air. Magic in the air. Turn it up. So you can't leave the door open. Leave the door open. Yes, like Bruno Mars is iconic and make timeless music. He make timeless music, and I tell people all the time, Bruno Mars is doing what artists should always do: great lyrical content, great musicians, and releasing great records. Bruno Mars got that down to a science because Leave the Door Open, that's a group. Him and his friend, they created a group and they won awards. Bruno Mars did records with Cardi. Iconic records. Just dope. I think he did 2 records with Cardi. It was so good with Bruno Mars and Cardi, the label, they wanted them to go on tour because they have great chemistry. It was like, and then the videos between Bruno Mars and Cardi, iconic. They ain't touching that. I can literally watch that again, them videos, and still be like, yes, he got it. And the way that Cardi B Cardi messed up her career not going on tour with him, she would have been bigger than Nicki if she didn't get pregnant. Absolutely. If Cardi would have did a tour with Bruno Mars, she would have won that. She would be much, much, much bigger. Because that tour, because you gotta understand, you guys, Bruno Mars helped Cardi when she was a new artist. And them was monster records. If she would have went on tour with Bruno Mars, plus like with her album, she'd have had a second album, she'd have a third album, and they all would have went gold and platinum. Because the Bruno Mars fans, with the conjunction with her fans, gold, platinum, she'd have been up there. Like Bruno is doing a residency, has millions of fans. He's a superstar. Yeah, Bruno Mars. When you get a residency, you have fans. They don't get no residency people that got 2 people. That's when you have a residency, especially like a Vegas residency. That means you have fans. That means you got fans that will lay aside, like they gonna put it on their calendar. I'm going to see, when I go to Vegas, I'm going to see Bruno. Them the type of fans that they love. Like Tony Braxton, they love them type of fans because Tony Braxton got fans that will schedule, buy their ticket. Like say for instance, if the concert, we at the end of August, if it's in September, they will literally take off and plan and go and take off and go some people have that type of fan base. Everybody don't have that type of fan base that will plan and go and take off and do it. Everybody don't have that type of fan base. I went to go see Toni Braxton way back in the day. She didn't perform in Chicago. She performed in Indiana. And got in a car with a friend. We went to go see Toni Braxton, and she performed. And Toni Braxton brought the house down. I bought tickets to see it. Toni Braxton was the first concert that I went to. Like buying a ticket in the theater, and it was Toni Braxton. And then I went to go see Toni Braxton the next day when she performed in Wisconsin, and she had El DeBarge on there. I didn't even know who he was because until I started doing my research, I bought his albums, then I started listening to his music. Now I'm into El DeBarge's music because he performed. He played the keyboard. And he just performed, and then no, that's when El DeBarge in Fantasia. Hold on, let me get that right. El DeBarge performed with Fantasia, and I went to go see Fantasia twice. I went to go see her in Indiana, and I went to go see her in Wisconsin. Toni Braxton, I went to go see her in Indiana because if whatever part of Indiana it is, they have a theater that a lot of artists go to. That they don't want to go to Era Crown Theater, they go to that theater in Indiana. So that's like incredible artists, like Toni, incredible artists, Fantasia, all of them, and Fantasia, and who was the other artist that I love? That the reason why I love Fantasia because when she was on American Idol, we used to call the number and say, hey, we vote for Fantasia. We was calling 1-800 number for Fantasia and for Jennifer Hudson. It's just like that was so sad, and to see them still performing at a high level and people back and they selling out shows is to be commendable. And I love them all, especially, and shout out to Toni Braxton and shout out to Bruno Mars. Went to go see Usher. Shout out to Usher, and Usher started in the '90s. To see him still performing at a high level and selling out shows, shout out to Usher. Shout out to Bruno Mars, and he's dope. To get a Las Vegas residency so early in his career. He ain't been in the industry like 30-some years or something. That's to be commendable. And shout out, and to be selling out Las Vegas, that's dope. That many people don't do it. Can't do that. But Bruno Mars is an exemption because he have true talent and he's gifted, and he make great music. And he's a great live performer. He's an awesome live performer. Because when he performed at the BET Awards, anytime he performed at the Super Bowl, anytime he just performed, period, you could tell he loved what he do. And he put his all on stage. And it's not too many artists that care about live performances, but Bruno Mars is he can bring the house down. Because I've told him watching on television, I'm like, damn, he could go. And I watch his live performance, he's dope. So I love Bruno Mars. So shout out to y'all. It was good. It's good to have y'all on the show. Watching me. Go to wilderthetroll.com. I want to also shout out to Prada me for sending the stories. Shout out to that sister because she made me better, and I love her. And they said, yeah, he did the Super Bowl with Beyonce too, right? I don't know if he did the Super Bowl with Beyonce. I just know Bruno Mars performed at the Super Bowl. I don't know if he did it with Beyonce. I can't, but I know Beyonce performed at the Super Bowl. I don't know if Bruno Mars performed with Beyonce. I don't remember that. I don't recall that, but I do know that Bruno Mars was on that Super Bowl stage. And they ain't putting nobody that can't perform on Super Bowl stage. How did you enjoy the B sector? I love the B sector. I love the B sector. The B sector that's home. Yes, I was right. They did. Oh, yes, I was right. They did in 2016. Okay, in 2016. Okay, that's dope. Because I remember seeing Beyonce perform. Beyonce is another great performer. She's an awesome performer. There's not too many people that can touch her performing live. She's a great live performer. And shout out to the B sector. I love them all. I love everybody in the B sector because it's fun. That entire sector, I love it. Like Bruno Mars doing a residency, I'm talking about the meet and greet with the beef sector. Oh, that was dope. Shout out to King Roman News and Sean. And I met King because I this is my first time meeting King Roman News. Just a dope dude. He's just a vibe. You know how you know you can be around somebody and they just got good energy? King Roman News got great energy. They had a horrible weekends. Horrible weekend, so boring. Well, some of the ones that I didn't go see, they had horrible weekend. But I'm just talking about when I was with Queen Roman News. That was iconic. That wasn't horrible. You know why that one horrible? Because I was with King Roman News, and he was with Wiley. He was with Wiley, so that's not horrible. Everybody else, the VS, the Lemons, the Nas, the Lip, they struggled because they're not superstars. King Roman News has sense. He know who to meet up with. Who's the star? Wiley. Why did you go in on Bree unprovoked? I didn't go on Bree unprovoked. I know I did not go on Bree unprovoked. Bree was trying to trash me, so I give her the energy back. We beefing. You want to roast me? Say you ain't this and that. You ain't big and blah 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 blah. I'm gonna call you out. Say you are. I'm big too, but Bree is bigger. It's the difference. It's good you enjoy this. I had a ball. I had a ball in the B sector. Cause she doesn't eat burgers. She eats a lot of burgers. Please go clip the video. Oh my god, that was so funny. Oh my god, it's very, 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 very funny. Like me linking up. Well, actually, I'm not linking up with anybody. Is if you show up where I'm at and we bump into each other, it's a vibe. I just have that energy. If you bump into if we wherever I'm at, especially if you come in the B sector and we because over the weekend I was at an event, music DJ jumping, I'm having a fucking ball by my motherfucking self. I didn't have no crew. I didn't have no party bus. Neither did I have a $7,000 armed guard. I was by my motherfucking self enjoying life. And then King Roman pulled up. He said, "Hey, what?" And that's a vibe. And then when he pulled up, and I was on his live, iconic. They still talk about it to this day. Wiley King Roman, Wiley King Roman, Wiley King Roman, Wiley King Roman, Wiley. They ain't talking about Ness and Lemon because they're not leaders. They're not entertaining. They eating chicken. I'm partying, vibing. They eating chicken. Who need armed guards when the police pop up everywhere you go anyway? Yeah, who need armed guards when police pull up? Everywhere I go, the police pull up. What I need an armed guard for? Everywhere I pull up, security police, they're gonna pull up. And when I was partying, they pulled up. They ain't do nothing. But just by that, I'm there having a good time. Vibing. I had a fucking ball by myself. I'm a police magnet. Absolutely. I'm a police magnet. And I take that. That's a good magnet. Because the police are good. I don't have a problem with police. They cool in my book. I'm vibing. Partying. It was a dude there. He vibed. It was so fucking, it was just a fucking vibe. I just can't tell y'all enough about that moment of me just dancing. And people was like, but you was by yourself. So fucking what? If you can't have fun with you, that's a problem. You don't need 50 people. When I came to this world, I came by myself. I didn't come with my homeboys. So with that thought, I can have fun by myself. I love having fun. Whether I'm with 50 people, 100 people, or just me. I am a ball. I love having fun. I love my producers. Shout out to my producers. We after clubbed up in Vegas multiple times. Natasha, Blue Skies, all of them. Y'all seen the videos. Y'all seen the photos. We have a ball. Shout out to Blue Skies. Me and Blue Skies and Natasha. We fucking up the dance floor. And I posted on my IG. I said we fucking the dance floor up. Fucking up the dance floor. We could even go even back in April. Couture Bay, myself, AT2, people in the B sector, that the sister that Deidre, what's her name? She could fucking the dance floor up. It was so iconic with me and Couture Bay. We was on the karaoke stage. And Nani Love, shout out to Nani Love Movement. She was in the bathroom, ran out of the bathroom. Because they called my name, they said, why did you come on stage? And Nani Love, it was supposed to be me, Nani Love, and another sister. The other sister left. And they were supposed to be Micah. So they just called my name. I said, Lord Jesus, 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 I'm nervous. And I said, I'm gonna do what about your friends? I'm nervous. So I knew some of the lyrics. What about your? But it's a different vibe when you got karaoke. And then I got up there, just messed up but Couture, she was bad. And then Nani Love went, and then she started, hey, Nani Love just took over. Nani Love Movement, shout out to Sus. And shout out to Couture Bay. Cause she was backstage. She was behind me dancing. And I'm get the mic. I guess I call myself singing. I was fucking up. I do want to apologize to TLC. I fucked that lyrics up. I didn't know none of the lyrics. Only parts I fucked them lyrics up. But it is I'll be having fun. Shout out to producers. Have you heard that Wendy Williams have been released from her conservative? No, I did not hear that. Wow. If she did been released from her conservative, congratulations. But I haven't heard it. Oh, is that true? She was like, what about that? I don't know about that. But I'm gonna check on that. I'm gonna do my research on that. Because Wendy Williams, I don't want to be controversial. Wendy Williams don't need to be released from no conservative. Sunday, Albany just posted. Okay, I'm gonna say if it's true or not. Because Wendy Williams don't need to be released from no conservatives. Wendy Williams she needs somebody over her resources. That's all I'm gonna say. So does Britney Spears. Because everybody wanted Britney Spears to be off her conservative shit. How does that look? Not looking too good. Because when you're on a conservative, you're on it for a reason. Shout out to Wendy Williams. May God bless her. Because she will go down in history as being one of the best. She's a great host. She was a great radio DJ and a television host. That's her resume. Nobody would touch Wendy Williams. So I'm glad when Sherry Shepherd did the show, Sherry Shepherd did not try to be the Wendy Williams show. When Sherry Shepherd got her own daytime television show, Sherry Shepherd did it the Sherry Shepherd way. And shout out to that sister, because when Wendy Williams was no longer able to do the show and it was announced that Sherry Shepherd will have her own daytime television show, Sherry Shepherd said, there is nobody can do the Wendy Williams show like Wendy Williams. That's a tailored special show for Wendy Williams. Nobody can do it like Wendy Williams. Because many people tried to do it, they couldn't, it was boring. Because Wendy Williams is the only one that can deliver the tea, the mess, in the Wendy Williams way. So shout out to her. And then when Sherry Shepherd got it, her own daytime television show is not the Wendy Williams show, it's the Sherry Shepherd show. So shout out to Sherry. And shout out to Wendy Williams. This is iconic to see all of y'all here on this beautiful morning. Shout out to this y'all here on this beautiful, beautiful Monday. Love it. Enjoy y'all day. I will try to go back live today because to talk some more ish with y'all, some more subjects, because there's a lot of stories that have been breaking on walletthetroll.com. So I'm not gonna try to make this too long of a video because it's just a lot of stories I want to get into. So I want y'all to enjoy y'all day, enjoy y'all vibe. Shout out to y'all that's on y'all way to work. I pray that y'all have an amazing shift. Shout out to those that are traveling on the road. Shout out to those that are in the trucking industry. Shout out to those traveling watching us. God bless you and thank you for y'all amazing support. I will bring back the call lines. We're gonna work on some things to bring that back. So y'all be able to call in and give y'all thoughts, but y'all can always leave a comment, and I will read your comment on the air until we get the call lines back. And so you can voice like your opinion via the call line. And for those that want to leave a comment on the stories on waterthetroll.com, you can leave a comment under there, and I have it set up where you can subscribe to the website. So anytime I drop a story, it's sent to your email, so you can get the story. So make sure you go check that out. All right, let me go to my closing remarks. Little black boy, you're beautiful. Little black girl, you are enough. When times get hard, always remember to put God first. Thank you, y'all, for taking y'all time out. Make sure y'all like the video, share the video. Make sure y'all leave a comment. Let me know how I did. If I did something wrong, y'all gonna drag me. If I did something good, tell me. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all soon.